9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Oh boy.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for this special launch of the Mission and Discipleship, well, now the UPCSA's Going for Growth campaign. Earlier this morning, my son and I were fiddling around with some pot plants, or we could say we were pottering with our pot plants, and it got me thinking about going for growth, because if you have a look at the various plants that I have here, we have this one, which comes from the garden of my parents-in-law, which in turn was grown from an acorn from my father-in-law's home in Port Elizabeth. And so this is a third generation acorn tree, and this one is, we're hoping, is going to grow and become part of an ongoing story. We've got this little one that is just coming out of the ground here. We've got these succulents which grow in hardy conditions. We've got this one that's struggling a little bit. It had an illness, and so the leaves fell off, and we've treated it, and we're hoping it's going to flourish. We've got another one over here that's just about to start making leaves, and this one which is about to flower. And it struck me that in many ways this is a bit like our Going for Growth campaign in the denomination, because we have congregations in so many various states, some that have a long history, some that are newly planted, some that are growing in tough circumstances, and some that are struggling. But our Going for Growth project is a project that has three arms to it. We've called it Going for Growth, Sowing, Growing, and Reaping. The sowing part is about planting new congregations. The growing part is about strengthening congregations that have either got stuck or have suffered some sort of setback, and we want to equip them and strengthen them and get them going again. And then there's reaping, which is a focus on personal evangelism and spreading the gospel through social justice and through one-to-one outreach. And so the Mission and Discipleship Committee came to General Assembly last year with the idea of this project, that we would do this for 10 years, be focused on sowing, growing, and reaping for the next 10 years. To help facilitate this, our committee is going to be doing an incremental survey of congregations. We're going to make a self-evaluation tool for congregations available. It's a tool that we've adapted from the Church of Scotland. We'll be calling for a season of prayer and asking during the month of mission that our congregations focus on and pray for this project. And then we have articles about missional growth. We have the mission-shaped introduction course. We have the unfinished story, which is a set of tools that help a congregation become more missional in its thinking. We've run a pioneering incubator model in the Presbytery of Egoli, and we're hoping that we can do something similar in other congregations. We also have procedural guidelines for planting new congregations and an evangelistic tool that we can use to help congregations learn how to do personal evangelism. We also want to develop a tool of trained consultants, and we want to explore ways in which we can resource the denomination, maybe even through assessment relief when congregations embark on growing projects. Because the project has been adopted by General Assembly, we've also been able to talk to our conveners of the various committees within the General Assembly. And so we've talked to the Ministry Committee about moving our training from maintenance to ministry, that we don't just train managers, but rather facilitators who will unleash their congregations in service and outreach. We want to equip our ministers with diagnostic tools like Callahan's 12 Keys and the many other great tools that are available out there. We also want to get an emphasis on ongoing training. We've talked to the Nominations Committee about better continuity of members on our key committees so that these kinds of initiatives will maintain their momentum. We've talked to the Communications Committee about helping us get this message down to grassroots level and maybe even run an artwork competition. We've approached the Court of Assembly to discipline all members who don't enthusiastically embrace our project. Just kidding. But we've also talked to presbyteries and asked them to do a survey of the congregations within their bounds, to develop a strategic plan for sowing, growing and reaping, and to collaborate with fellowships to run outreaches and revivals. We also want to challenge congregations to use the tools that we've made available, to think about the mission-shaped introduction course for session members, and to invite the facilitators from the Mission and Discipleship Committee to come and workshop with you and help you to embrace some of the principles of sowing, growing and reaping. And it's our hope that over the next 10 years, this project will make a significant difference in the life of our denomination. And it really is about a mindset and a heart set, about being focused on mission, being focused on spreading the gospel, of living out what Christ has called us to be and to become. And so to help us launch the project today, I'm really pleased to be able to welcome Professor Milan now, who has become a beloved friend of our denomination. And he always brings us such clear theological reminders of who we are and what our purpose is. And then after we've had a Q&A with Milan, I'll be introducing our missional Presbyterians. And these are just a few folk who I've asked to share some stories and some thoughts and ideas around the concepts of being a missional church. We've got Matshidiso Piru, who is a probationer in a church plant in Pretoria North in the Presbytery of Tshwane. We've got Madoda Mfeni, who is a past member of the committee and who has been active in church planting in the Western Cape. Madoda, at least Matemba and Tati, is a current member of the Mission and Discipleship Committee, and he's passionate about evangelism, particularly through the fellowships. Richard Mkandawire from Zambia is also a member of our committee and has a great story to tell about how the Synod of Zambia has used church development evangelists to plant new congregations and open new work. Stuart Gordon is a member of the Mission and Discipleship Committee and is going to share with us what it has been like to come from a missional setting into a mainstream denomination. Stuart planted a congregation and then became a member of the UPCSA and a minister of the UPCSA. And he'll have some insights to share with us. Ruth Armstrong is the convener of our committee, and she'll be sharing a little bit about being missional in a congregation that has been around for a long time. And so I do hope that this next hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, will be stimulating and a blessing to you, and that this conversation will inspire you as we go for growth. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and God bless you.